Bleeding after having intercourse or bleeding after having sex may be a serious issue or maybe not be a serious issue. It depends with the cause of the bleeding. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about the causes of vaginal bleeding after having sex or postcoital bleeding, or we can also call it bleeding after having intercourse. My name is Sari. I'm a clinician. In this channel, we always talk about health. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe so that you can learn more about health in this channel. Today, as I talked before, today we are going to talk about the causes of vaginal bleeding, which may be serious or maybe not even be a big issue. There are some causes which are serious and some causes are not serious. So when you have vaginal bleeding after having sex, you need to go to hospital to see a doctor, because it may be a serious issue or may not be a serious issue. The first and the common cause of vaginal bleeding is vaginal dryness. When your vagina is so dry when having sex, you may have bruises and may cause bleeding after having sex. This is because of the friction when having sex. So it's very important before having sex, you should prepare mentally to have sex so that you may not have those vaginal dryness. And in my previous episode, I talked about the causes of vaginal dryness. So vaginal dryness is one of the most common causes of vaginal bleeding after sex because of the friction and the bruises. Another cause of vaginal bleeding after sex is cervical cancer. I know it's scary, but it's very important to go for checkup when you have vaginal bleeding after having sex, because it may be a cancer. When you have cancer, you may have bleeding. So it's very important when you experience bleeding after having sex, go and see a doctor so that the doctor can examine you and tell you what is causing the bleeding. Another cause of vaginal bleeding after having sex is infection. Infection can be virus, can be bacterial, and can be fungal. But there are some most common infections that many women experience. For example, STI, you can have UTI, you can have vaginal candidiasis. Those are the most common infection many women experience, and that can cause bleeding after sex because of the inflammation. When there is infection somewhere, there is inflammation, and that inflammation can cause bleeding after having sex. So it's very important to go for checkup so that the doctor can determine if you have infection, so that when you have infection, you can be treated. Another cause of vaginal bleeding after having sex is chemicals can cause vaginal bleeding, because when you use a lot of chemicals, it may cause erosion around your vagina and the cervix and can cause bleeding after having sex. So it's very important to check on that. Don't use any chemicals around your vagina so that you may not experience the vaginal bleeding. To note is that bleeding can be caused also by periods. When you should check when you start having vaginal bleeding after having sex, you should check if you have your menses, or after birth. After giving birth, you may experience bleeding even after sex, which is very common. Another thing that you should always note, when you have any kind of bleeding after having sex, please go for a checkup. Don't just imagine it's just dryness that is causing bleeding. Just go and see a doctor so that doctor can determine if you need medical attention. And that's all I have for today. If you are new in this channel, please remember subscribe, and if you have already subscribed, thanks so much. Bye. You may share this video to those people who think they may learn something about vaginal bleeding after sex. Bye.